established Rich coming right back at you. And today, this ain't really about beef. It's about why the same situations keep happening to the same people. This thing with 50 Cent, Jim Jones, and Maino didn't come out of nowhere. We've seen this movie before, just with different names. It always starts the same way. Somebody gives an opinion about a move they don't actually have control over.
Acceptable for someone to create a documentary about you without your approval, how would you feel if it happened to you?
It's like
Definitely not acceptable. It's facetious and petty.
right. It's like somebody putting out your sex tape.
Yeah, if you want to make, yeah, exactly.
It's like damn,
Without your permission.
And you're not an actual star.
And they doing
the lighting wasn't good or nothing.
yeah, they're trying to make you just look bad. I wanted to be a dope documentary.
You gotta be dope.
Show who you are, what you've done.
Put out no bull.
You've accomplished. Like, a documentary is a big thing. Like, you don't want nobody doing a documentary about some, like, trying to just make your whole character look weak. Like, that's petty behavior.
I want to know the company that did it so we could talk, you know what I mean? Because if it's on me, I need, you know what I mean?
I don't understand why that's like legal to do though.
Documentary is more like a
seem like
mockumentary. How
When
can it even be called a
story that ill,
documentary though? Because you call a documentary when it's not, when it's...
Once you become, if you're a
that
public person,
figure,
you're in the
they can just
news,
do it.
you can be Google.
So do you think that it's wrong or not?
I
not
think it's
with
why
it.
wouldn't you want the person?
Jim Jones criticizes 50's documentary, and on the surface, it just sounds like talk. But the problem is in who he talking to and what lane that person is actually in right now. 50 is not moving like a rapper at this point. He's moving like somebody who owns things. And when you talk down on somebody who owns a space, they don't argue back. They just remind you where you standing. That's why 50 Cent didn't go back and forth about the documentary. He didn't defend it or explain it. He said he would buy the building where they filmed their podcast. And that changed everything because that wasn't a joke. That was a reality check.
Call us squatters.
Yeah, he called you guys squatters and said you guys owe $250,000. So is that true?
I don't know nothing about that.
Okay, so you guys have paid your rent.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay. All right, now, to put it in perspective, though, you said
What?
you weren't taking aim.
No, we not making our podcast not going. We don't talk about people. We take things and internalize it. We was talking about, it was a general conversation about do people have the actual right to make a documentary about you, and how would you feel if it was you? But I get where you're coming from. But at the same time, I'm not trying to walk nothing down. Like, if it's smoke, it's smoke.
All right, well, here is
Yeah,
so
we know that. But, everybody panties is in a bunch. Oh, my God.
it doesn't feel like this is a big...
No, it ain't nothing.
Yeah,
But
okay.
the thing is,
the
like,
intention was not to come at him.
If you shooting and you saying they and these guys and you got a picture and I'm in the picture, I'm shooting back, and it's with whoever. It's with whoever, whenever, however.
We know.
When somebody say they'll buy the place you work from, they're not trying to win an argument. They're letting you know who has the upper hand. And here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. A lot of older rappers never made that next move. They stayed around money, but they never built money. They were around label executives, investors, around people who own buildings, but they never bought anything themselves. So now years later, they still talking, still commenting. And the people who did make those moves don't have to say much. They just show you the gap. Maino responded with jokes, and that tells you everything you need to know. Because when you don't have leverage, all you have is words.
Speaking on divorcing your kid, do you ever think that you could cut your kid off?
I don't think I could. Listen, having a child is a lifetime sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
100%.
That's your child.
That's locked in.
And so that commitment is, you gotta deal with that woman. I feel like forever, no matter, even past 18.
So your child could never do nothing to you that could make you cut them off.
I mean, definitely somebody could do something
You could be mad at your child. I mean, to each his own. Everybody is different, right? And everybody's level of where they draw the line is different. But I don't think I would ever want to experience that. I got one son, I got one daughter, and I can't picture myself ever being in a place mentally where I would be able to cut them off.
What about you, Cabo?
Bro, come on.
Do you think you could ever cut off your child for something that he did to you?
I don't see me doing that, but I do believe that disrespect can't be tolerated, especially as they get older.
50 never responds with feelings. He responds with action, ownership, control, options, time. And that's why this always ends the same way. Not because 50 is louder, but because he's sitting in a different chair. This is what happens when people confuse standing next to power with having power. The difference always shows up at the worst time. A lot of people get comfortable being close to success but they never locked it in. And now when somebody who did lock in speaks, it feels disrespectful. When in reality, it's just being honest. You can't out-talk somebody who owns the room, and you can't shame somebody who doesn't need your approval. This ain't about ego, it's about position. And every time these situations happen, hip-hop learns the same lesson again. Talk is easy, ownership is hard, and that's why this hit different. Listen, when Jim Jones spoke on the documentary, he spoke from the same position a lot of people speak on it from, opinion. It ain't nothing wrong with somebody's opinion until you aim it at somebody who operates on a different level. 50 don't live in the comment section. He lives in contracts, properties, and deals. So when you criticize his move, he don't defend it. He makes your position look small. That's why he didn't clap back with words. He clapped back with the idea of buying their space. People really miss how heavy that was. That wasn't about humiliation. That was about control. When you own what somebody records, you own their time. You own their comfort. You own whether they feel safe or pressured. And that's why that one line ended the conversation. Now look at how the response came back. Jokes, memes. That response felt good in the moment, but it ain't do nothing to change the reality. This is where hip hop gets stuck. We confuse a good clapback with a good position. A joke can get you laughs. It can't get you leverage. 50 understands that better than most. That's why he baits people into talking. Because the more you talk, the more he gets to move. Silence is the only thing that ever slows him down. And this is not new. This is how he's been moving for years. He did it in music, he did it in television, and now he does it in media. He lets people reveal their limits out loud. This is why older rappers struggle in these moments. They used to respect being given automatically, but respect don't pay bills. Ownership does. And if you didn't make that turn years ago, you feeling it now. This is why these moments feel personal to people, because they force you to face what you didn't build. And that's a hard thing to sit with, especially when you've been around success your whole career. Being around it is not the same as owning it. And hip hop is finally seeing that clear. 50 don't need to insult you. He just needs to stand still. His position does the talking, and everything else sounds like noise around it. This is why responding to him is almost always a mistake. You're playing his game on his board, and the board is not even. It never was. The real question is not why 50 keeps doing this. It's why people keep walking into it. And the answer is simple. Ego. Ego makes you think words matter more than structure. Ego makes you think your history is enough. But hip hop has moved into a different era, one where talk expires quick and ownership lasts, even when people don't like you. This is a lesson about when to speak and when to stay quiet. A lesson about building something that can't be talked over or talked around. Because at the end of the day, the person who owns the room don't have to raise their voice. Everybody else does. And that's why this story ends the same way it always does, with silence on one side and reality on the other. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.